Have you ever wondered how one of the world's greatest civilizations came to be? Let's travel back in time, thousands of years, to the banks of a mighty river in northeastern Africa. This is the story of ancient Egypt, a civilization born from the life-giving waters of the Nile. Before the pyramids, before the pharaohs, there was the river. The Nile wasn't just a body of water, it was the heart and soul of Egypt. Every year, like clockwork, it would swell and flood its banks. Now, you might think a flood is a disaster, but for the early people here, it was a miracle. When the waters receded, they left behind a rich, dark, incredibly fertile soil called black silt. This was a gift from the gods, a natural fertilizer that transformed the desert landscape into a lush green paradise. This predictable gift of fertile land meant that people no longer had to roam constantly, hunting and gathering for their next meal. They could settle down. They could plant seeds, knowing the harvest would be bountiful. This shift from a nomadic life to a settled, agricultural one was the single most important step in the birth of Egyptian civilization. Imagine the relief and security of knowing where your food would come from year after year. As more and more people settled along the Nile, small villages began to sprout up. Life was good, but it wasn't always easy. To make the most of the Nile's waters, people had to work together. They learned to dig irrigation canals to carry water to fields further from the riverbank and build dikes to control the floodwaters. This required cooperation, planning, and organization. It taught them that by uniting their efforts, they could achieve far more than they could alone. These early lessons in teamwork laid the foundation for the complex society that was to come. With a stable food supply, not everyone had to be a farmer. People had time to develop other skills. Talented artisans began to emerge. Potters crafted clay jars to store grain and water. Weavers created linen textiles from the flax that grew abundantly. Smiths and carpenters made tools, furniture, and boats. A bustling economy started to take shape. Boats, simple at first, became essential for navigating the Nile. The river was the main highway of ancient Egypt, connecting villages and towns. This made trade much easier. Goods, ideas, and people could travel up and down the river, creating a shared culture and a sense of a larger community. A surplus of grain meant they could trade with neighboring regions, bringing in wood, metals, and precious stones that Egypt lacked. This growing network of trade and communication was weaving the scattered settlements into a single, interconnected land. As villages grew into towns and towns into bustling cities, the need for leadership became more apparent. Managing large-scale irrigation projects, organizing trade, and settling disputes required a more formal structure.